wonderful welcome. Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Welcome, both to old friends, new friends, and people that you haven't had a chance to meet yet. This is our welcoming religious community, and I am so thrilled to have each and every one of you here, including the folks who are back after our long absence. My name is Reverend Dr. Claudia Hall. My pronouns are she or they, and I am absolutely delighted to serve here as your minister. I cannot tell you how wonderful it is. The schedule got a little weird in November with our votes and stuff, so I wasn't able to be here for a few weeks, and I have missed you guys. So I'm so happy to be back, and I'm even happier to announce that we've got some great news. So first, bad news, and then good news. Does that sound okay? All right. So the bad news is I have a very special person in my life. Her name is Dr. Moyer. She's my cardiologist, and she's very mean to me. She tells me that I work too much and that I do too much and that I should not do those things. So, given that I got a very stern lecture the other day, we decided as a board that we needed to do something about that. And while threats of duct tape and chains were mentioned, we decided that was probably not the best thing they could do to their minister. So instead, we decided we were going to hire somebody. So I wanted to give a very special welcome today to our new pastoral assistant, Eden Johnson. So Eden is a graduate of Boston Seminary and is coming into the UU process as an aspirant. So for those of you who were here when Reverend Dee and Reverend Sabrina started in the process, you know this takes a long time. So Eden is not technically clergy yet, but is on the process. And so their pronouns are they or he, and he's going to be working with me to start social groups, to do the stuff I can't do anymore with my health, like go out in public and go to our pride events. Has a very special heart for working with our underserved population, especially our trans community, because we all know just how desperately oppressed our trans folks are right now, and just how amazingly important it is to help those folks right now. So that's the kind of thing we're going to be doing, and this is going to enable us to not just for just a few hours a month, it's going to enable us to more than double the scope of our ministries here. So we're going to have so much more stuff going on. It's going to be super amazing. Nothing is going to change in terms of my ministry. I'm still going to be around. I'm still going to be here. At some point in the distant future, probably this summer, maybe a little later, I am going to have to move farther north because of the cold. My body can't take heat. So what's going to happen is I'm going to be your minister still, but I'm going to be more distant. So I'm going to be on video, which is pretty much the same as it is for all the meetings we already do on Zoom. All the classes I teach are already on Zoom. It just means that instead of speaking from a pulpit here, I'll be speaking from a screen over there, which I guess will probably drag over here, would be my guess. So it's easier to see. We're figuring that out. We just got a new projector today, too, so that's also awesome. It's a lot brighter, in case you didn't notice, so it should be easier to see. So we're making strides. We're doing the things we have to do, and just wanted to let you know that you'll be seeing a lot of Eden in person, because it was really important to the board and to myself that we still have in-person ministry. So you're going to have a person on the ground that'll help you with all the things you need. You're also going to have me for the continuity as we move forward with our buying the land and building a building and doing the moving. And I'm not running away forever without a way back. I do know how to drive back and forth, and so I'll be coming back at least once a quarter, probably more than that, and be able to stay and do big weekends. So things like water communion and child dedications, all of those things, I'll be back for. So I'll still be your minister. I'll still be in this pulpit. I'll still be doing the things that need to be done. So we will have more time for questions and answers on all of this at the mid-year meeting. But because a lot of us are introverts and need time to process, I wanted to bring it up now, so folks can think about stuff. You can email me any questions that you have between now and then. You can talk to me after service or later on if you need to. You can also talk about it at the mid-year meeting. The important things to know right now is I'm still here. Eden is coming on to help, and we're going to have tons of awesome programming, especially for social stuff and social justice work and working with our trans community. And we get to do this for no extra cost to the church because we had an amazing donor step up and cover the hours. So we're not going to have to, So we are the little church that could, you guys, and we're making this happen, which is super, super awesome. It is so awesome that I figured we would take this opportunity because Peg, all right, my hands are not working today, but Peg brought this in, so we're going to have a little bit of chocolate communion as we listen to our prelude this morning. So welcome, everyone, to church. Chocolate communion. Thank you, Joy. That was beautiful, Joy. Thank you so much. An important ritual in our Unitarian Universalist faith is the lighting of our chalice. We have so many different interpretations of our chalice, including the light of reason, the warmth of community, the flame of hope, the fire of commitment. Our children have stepped forward as leaders in our congregation and are helping us with our chalice. So I invite our chalice lighter to come forward today. It's going to be Haley Binkley this morning. And I invite you all, excuse me, if you're watching elsewhere, now is time to get your chalice or candle. And for everyone else, I invite you to join us as we say our unison words projected on our screen. We light this chalice today as a symbol of love at the center of all we think, feel, and do. We light this chalice in celebration of Yule, and as the longest night passes and we rekindle the fires of light, so too may we rekindle the fires of hope that we find here in community. Will you join with me as you're willing and able in a spirit of prayer and meditation? Spirit of Yule, we invite you into this dark time of winter where we so often feel cold inside and out. May the lighting of our hearth fires bring renewal to us all. May all have warm places to live and to sleep. May we have the warmth of friendship to sustain us in the times that lay ahead. And may we be the light and the warmth that is needed in a world where the things that are in front of us seem stronger and rougher than ever. May the holiday of Yule remind us that the most difficult times are actually a turning point and that the light can only grow and become stronger from here. Amen, and blessed be. I invite you all this morning to take a moment and greet someone that you don't know or that you don't know as well, to make a new connection so that you can get to know them even more over coffee hour. And then we'll go into our first hymn. Yeah. It's a tradition here at the Metro East Unitarian Universalist Congregation to place each of our services within the larger values that we hold dear. This week, especially as we celebrate 3 of the great winter holidays, we're lifting up the value of interdependence, which comes specifically originally from the earth-based traditions and from science itself, which teaches us that all things, from the smallest photons of light to the largest galaxies, they're all part of one whole and entire universe. Nothing is wasted. Everything has purpose and meaning. Everything is useful, and everything is used and reused again and again over the years. The sand we walk on today was once a mountaintop. The water we drink was once rain that fell on a dinosaur. We are connected across time and space with the furthest edges of the galaxy. The light we see in the sky is already from stars that have been dead for millions of years, that is just now reaching us. Supernovas that have happened when our sun had not yet begun. From light to darkness to light again, these cycles are eternal, a heavenly dance that we are all a part of. As we celebrate Yule, we give thanks for the ways that we are all connected one to another. From our first, most distant ancestors to the most distant generations yet to come. We give thanks for the calm and quiet that winter darkness brings, and we give thanks for the warmth and hope of light and home. Amen, and blessed be. Home means something different for each of us. For some of us, we were lucky enough to be raised in a place that we still call home. For others of us, we grew up in a place that we left in a quest to find home. For many of us, we are still searching. Wherever you are in your search for that place called home, we invite you to bring those things, joys, sorrows, worries, fears, hopes, dreams. We invite you to come in this place and come together as one, leaving them in the water where it can be washed away and renewed. Again and again, we come to this place. Some days the same person has joys, concerns, worries and fears, hopes and dreams all in one, because we are complicated people. And we invite you to start in the back, come forward, and then around. If you have any mobility challenges at all, please just raise a hand as you can, and someone else will happily bring your stones forward, because we are here for one another. Let us be in a spirit of prayer and meditation. For our children's time this day, we have a book that is also a poem. It's called The Shortest Day. And if you haven't had a chance to read the poem that goes along with it, I invite you to go check this book out from the library. The entire video is a bit longer, but we cut it down for children's time this morning. So I invite you to do that. And then are we having children's service today, Jennifer? Yeah. We are. All right. So we're going to have our children's time, and then we're going to sing our kids out afterwards.
The Shortest Day by Susan Cooper, illustrated by Carson Ellis. So the shortest day came, and the year died. And everywhere down the centuries of the snow-white world came people singing, dancing, to drive the dark away. They lighted candles in the winter trees. They hung their homes with evergreen. They burned beseeching fires all night long to keep the year alive. And when the New Year's sunshine blazed awake, they shouted, reveling. Through all the frosty ages, you can hear them, echoing behind us. Listen. All the long echoes sing the same delight, this shortest day, as promise wakens in the sleeping land. They carol, feast, give thanks, and dearly love their friends, and hope for peace. And so do we, here, now, this year and every year. Welcome, Yule.
So our next hymn is in the Teal Hymnal. It's not as familiar to folks, so we have a video for it this morning. It's number 1063, Winter Solstice.
Children of the earth, we have come to sing to each other, sister and brother, songs of our mother earth. Children of the earth, autumn soon will breathe her last breath and bring with her death bear witness to winter's birth. Children of the earth, can you feel the earth getting cold as darkness takes hold and sleep covers Mother Earth? Children of the earth, we have come to sit in the darkness, breathe in the silence, think of the Mother Earth.
Well, good morning, everyone, and welcome to almost the shortest day of the year. It was yesterday, but we're very, very close. Yule, as it is known in pagan homes around the Northern Hemisphere, is a time of deep introspection as we watch the light for such a brief moment. I have had the privilege of being much farther north this time of year, Northern Europe, Iceland, that kind of place. And literally, there is just no daylight. The sun never really rises before it has set. You get this like twilighty effect for a couple hours if you're lucky. And even though we know that sunshine will come, it's hard to feel it, especially because we like to play games with the clock with this silly, daylight savings stuff. How many of you are like me? I am messed up for weeks after that goofy time change, right? Well, ancient people believed that only rituals to the gods would hold the darkness at bay. Now, today, some of us long for that, and today, others of us suffer for it. Many of us find that we wake up in the darkness and we come home from work in the darkness, and our entire life for most of this time of year is lived in the darkness. And it's very difficult. It is hard to believe that sunshine and heat will return again when it is dark and cold from daybreak to daylight, the whole time you're out and about today. What's really hard to grasp is the concept that winter solstice is actually the first day of winter. My son insisted that the moment it snowed meant it was winter. And there is no one who knows more about science than a 5-year-old, except perhaps devotees of, anyway, nope, not going there. It took me the better part of a week to convince him that winter didn't even really start until the day of Yule. So it's not until the shortest day that the coldest season even begins, and after that, the 3 months of true winter set in. Now, winter is a time of actual danger for many still to this day. The unhoused and the underfunded who struggle to have adequate heating. Those who have no help to clear their walkways, who risk falls in icy or snowy weather. Those whose brains need the sunlight to manufacture serotonin, and so on and so forth. Cold weather was historically the time when humanity had to band together. Wars stopped for the winter. Think about that. This endless conflict that we have around the globe didn't exist until this modern era. It used to be, yes, you would go to war with a neighbor, but then you would stop because you had to go home and get in the harvest. And then you stayed home because winter was cold and you had to survive. And then in the spring you had to plant. So you only went to war for a couple of months every year. That sounds so bizarre to us now. But the truth is that that's how it was for most of human history. People stopped fighting, retreated to their villages, banded together to survive. What may strike us, especially here in America, where we somehow divinitize doing, one of the things that really is weird is in other parts of the world, they slow down at this time of year. Europe actually has laws that people must take time off in the winter. Not that you can if you want, or if your employer's nice, or if they have nothing better to do. It is a law in most of Europe that you must be given time off at this time of year. People need the rest. Instead, in America, we rely on technology to defeat nature so that we can continue on with every bit of our daily lives, regardless of the time of year. We fail to live according to the laws and rhythms of nature, and that is what has brought us to the ecological crisis that we are living in now. The failure of people to see the danger of this kind of misinformation has led us to the problems we face today. We are standing at a solstice ourselves. We, like our ancestors, are staring at a waning sun. For them, it was a literal waning sun. For us, it is democracy. But we are both watching bitter cold and deep despair surrounding us. And we are afraid that there may never be sunshine again. We wonder if there will be another ice age, whether literal in the case of a nuclear winter, or figurative in the case of some kind of Cold War isolationist world where we think we can carve ourselves apart into chunks of hatefulness that nothing can bring us together again. I cannot for the life of me understand why someone thinks that America can stop being dependent on the rest of the world after 60 years of shipping everything we do overseas. You cannot turn these things on a dime, my friends. That is not how it works. But like our ancestors, we are cold, scared, cannot see what the future holds, and so we have gathered together with others to engage in ritual, to fend off the horrors as best we can. But here's the thing, unlike our ancestors, we are aware that the seasons will change. We are aware that no matter what we do, the sun is going to rise again. We do not, in fact, need to carve out the hearts of whoever loses the ball game today. We are aware, but we forget. We forget that we are still tied to the earth. We forget that our daily rituals do impact the planet. We forget that they do shape whether or not humanity still has hope. Now, Yule comes at the beginning of winter for very prosaic reasons relating to axial tilt. I don't know if you've seen the shirt. I made it for a dear friend of mine who's an atheist. It says, axial tilt is the reason for the season. But there is also the metaphorical reason that the darkest point of your journey is not the end. If you ask anyone who has gone through or is going through, because the journey really never ends, if you've gone through the journey of recovery, when you hit rock bottom, that is not where you stop. You still have to climb back up. So the darkest point on the journey, that winter solstice moment, is just a moment. We still have to go through winter and wait until spring. At least 4 years in our case. It is not enough to light a bonfire on Yule and then be done and jump straight to spring. You know, this is something that my Christian colleagues and I talk about a lot because there is a tendency in evangelical churches, and I really do think this is important, so walk with me here. There's a tendency in evangelical churches to do just this, okay? We go from Palm Sunday, which is Jesus' fancy triumphant entry into Jerusalem. Yay, Jesus is here, hooray, let's have a parade. We jump straight from that to Easter Sunday. Jesus is risen, yay, hooray, let's have a party. And we forget that between those two, there's a murder. A horrible, incredibly painful, brutal, violent death. And days of unknowing whether you were next. Without Good Friday and the horror of Saturday, Easter has no meaning. We cannot just go from joy to joy to joy. That is hedonism. That is a shallow life. And what billionaires will tell you is that that's the way we should live, but that is what has wrecked our planet. When we think that we can just go from joy to joy to joy to joy, we've missed what it means to be human. We do not call it joys and more joys. We say it is joys and concerns, because the entirety of the human condition includes concerns and fears and worries and grief and sorrow. Now, I pray that for each and every one of us, there is a balance in these things. For too many of us, we have the trauma that we have had more grief and sorrow and horror than joy. And that's why we come together, because we build community with each other and we give each other more joys when we haven't had them in our life. But the thing is that when we just try to live a life that is nothing but joy, when we want to just jump straight over winter and go straight into spring, when we forget the law of nature and we just want to have an eternal summer, we destroy what has been put in place by the universe. We destroy the rhythm of the seasons. We destroy the earth, which gives us life. When we honor the shortest day, when we honor the cold season in our life, when we seek to find meaning in our grief, in our stress, in the difficult times, when we stand in the mix with our friends when they are going through the hard times, oh my God, if there's one thing that I want to do when I'm working with people at a hospital, I just want to reach out when they are about to open their mouth and just go, tick. Because parents will say over and over again, oh my God, why me? And then people will open their mouth and give them an answer. And I just want to be like, because the truth is, any answer you can give someone in their suffering is to make you feel better. Any answer that you give a person in that position is about your not wanting to hurt, when what you need to be doing is suffering with them. You need to be walking in their pain with them. You need to be putting on your heavy winter coat and your big snow boots and tromping through the blizzard with them. You don't have to say anything. You just need to be there. That is church. Empathy. Empathy, saying, I don't know, but I am here. I don't have an answer, but I love you. I wish I could make it better. I can't, but I'm here and I care. Gather with your people. Practice your gratitude. If there is one thing you can do in the holiday season, it is be nice to cashiers. Those people have the world's worst job right now. We have some in our congregation, but even if we didn't, I would still say it. Because those poor customer service folks are getting the brunt of it. Just in case you know, they did not personally buy out the last of the season's hot toy, okay? They did not personally get rid of every item in your size. They really didn't. And man, people get mean about holiday gifts. The season of joy and hatred, that's really how it gets, so quick. But have that empathy. Say, thank you for showing up and doing your job. I'm so sorry. People are jerks. Like, legit, they might just kiss you. Be there for others in your group. When somebody is hard, listen. When they're having a rough time, you don't need to have an answer. This is something so hard because our society teaches us we must have an answer for everything. We must have a platitude. We must have a response. We must talk. I am here to give you all permission to say nothing. It is okay. When someone is hurting, it's okay to just ask, do you need a hug? What can I do? What do you want from me? Do you want a hug? Do you want coffee? Do you just need someone to scream at? Because I know when I've been in those pits of despair, in those winter solstice moments, when that winter was never going to end, the people I could just vent to and tell the story for the 400th time to was exactly who I needed. The people that I could just be with. Sometimes I just wanted them to sit there. Like, just sit here and scroll on your phone. That's fine. Just sit in the room so there's another human being that's just there, just so I'm not alone. And that's fine. Other people are me, and they might want something totally different from you, and that's fine too. But the empathy of just saying, what do you need? I can't fix it, but I'm here. It is a challenge. But the more we look for ways to light the hearth fires of ourselves and the people we know, the more we come here. That's the whole point, right? We light the chalice to light our own fire. We come here to light our own fire. We come here to give ourselves a little bit of something. And it doesn't have to be the same something, right? So for some people, what they love the most about the service is the joys and concerns. That is their moment. They could care less what I say in the pulpit. And that's okay. I'm not everybody's cup of tea, and that is okay. Some people come for the coffee hour. That is totally fine. It doesn't matter why you come, right? You come because something about it restores you. Something about it is lighting that fire, giving you that hearth fire back, giving you that inner warmth, that inner ability to cope with the week ahead. And that's what we want. And then you take that fire and you don't smother it by tamping it down and stuffing it in a box. You go out and you give some of it to other people. Because fire is the one element that the more you give it away, the more of it you have. It spreads. It wants to spread. It wants to grow. Yule reminds us that when people come together, they are better off than when they try to stay isolated and alone. So wherever you're going, whatever you're doing, take a little bit of fire to yourself, whether it's the chocolate that we got passed out, the joys and concerns, something in the sermon, a hymn, whatever it is, smiling face, and then go be that hearth fire for someone else today. Because let me tell you, folks out in this world today, they need a little bit of hearth fire. They need that Yule, that hope to keep them going. Amen, and blessed be. I just had the wonderful realization that my printer only printed half of our sermons, which is super cool. We're on our final hymn, aren't we? Awesome. So our final hymn is now on the screen. I only have half my script, so I'm doing this from memory, and we all know how good my memory is. I invite you to join along as we sing. right. Jesse? As Jesse passes around our offering basket, I remind everybody that our community of faith is supported by our giving. Also, we want to remind folks that if this is your first time, please feel no obligation to give. We do want this service to be our gift to you. But if you are a regular giver, if you have a pledge with us, we would like to invite you to make sure to use your envelopes that are in there, because we want to make sure we're tracking everybody's pledges correctly for your tax donations and also for your voting privileges as members. So. Will you join with me in our offering prayer? May this offering equip us to inspire love and seek justice. All right, I have one announcement, which is that we do have Christmas Eve service this year. It is going to, very exciting. It's going to be a candlelight Christmas Eve service right here, 7 o'clock on Tuesday, and 7 o'clock p.m. And we invite you to bring yourself, your friends, your neighbors, your kids, but only with consent. And please don't kidnap anybody. But please go ahead and come in whatever is comfortable. So I know for a lot of our kiddos, it's close to bedtime by the time we get out. So if they want to come in their jammies, that is totally fine. If you want to come in your jammies and you feel comfortable, that's totally fine. As long as your jammies include clothing. Let me be very clear about that. All right. So that is my announcement. So candlelight Christmas carols. We're also going to do a cookie exchange. How this works, you bring bags of cookies and you take home a different bag of cookies. It's really pretty simple. So bring cookies if you want to bring cookies. If we have enough, we share. If we don't, we just eat what's there. It's pretty easy. Any other announcements that we need to put up? Anybody else got anything? We are super lucky this month that we don't have to break down until next Sunday.
Newsletter deadline is
Yes.
the end of this coming week.
Yes.
So get it information to me if you want it in January newsletter.
All right. Information deadline is this week. Yes. All right. Also, additional stuff. My class is back in January. The Bible for Liberal Religious People. Woohoo! So it's going to be the 3rd and 4th Tuesdays in January. The Zoom link will be in the newsletter. And everybody's invited. So if you have a friend or somebody that might be interested, this is a great way to get them to get our know us without having to be all churchy or whatever. And what we're going to be talking about this month is we're going to be talking about how the Bible was interpreted before the Enlightenment. So for the first 2,000 years of the church. And we do it from Jewish and from Christian perspectives. So it's kind of neat to go back and read some of the old ways that people did stuff. And gives you an idea of different ways we can interpret it. The whole reason behind this class, because a lot of folks are new, I just want to throw it out there. The whole point of this class was because we had a lot of people saying, my in-laws are saying, well, the Bible says this, and I don't know how to counter it. And I'm like, well, let me teach you. So that's what we're doing. All right. Anything else, folks? I think we're good. All right. If I can get mine. In that sense, I invite you then to join me in reciting our prayer as we extinguish our chalice. The light of truth and beauty cannot be put out. We are the keepers of this flame until we meet again. The more we are afraid, the more we know that we need each other. May we who are here find light and love in the hearts and hands of our church family. And may we take this Yule fire with us this week to spread hope and joy in dark times to all who need the gift of hope and warmth in the cold days ahead. Let us be the Yuletide gift of warmth and life for people who need us. Amen, and blessed be. The postlude today is actually one you can sing to, so the words will be on your screen if you'd like to sing.